What up, though? Welcome to the FreeGame Producer Podcast. I'm Brian Onrea here in Atlanta, Georgia at the Bandwidth Studios in the A-Room, you feel what I'm saying? The luxurious A-Room, you know. Across from me, I got the big homie, the super producer, the multi-platinum producer, the multiple #1 Billboard producer in the building. Will Power, how you doing, sir?
What it do? What's poppin', man? What's cracking with it?
Man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed to be here. A little somber. We got a great interview, by the way.
Yeah.
With Bear coming up. A little somber though, man, because we just had the an emotional weekend. You know, Kendrick Lamar dropped an amazing album.
Yes, sir.
But then you had the incident in Buffalo, New York, man, where a white supremacist ran into a grocery store and killed 10 black people because they were black. Damn. Mostly elders as well, man. So, you know, that's and I feel like we all sad about it, but not enough. It's not enough. Like outcry about outrage. It, man. That's a big deal. That's a real big deal, man.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy too, man, because like it was obvious that it was, you know, intentional the way things were. Like there was definitely some like racial slurs and like racial you know, motivation behind it. And it's like you know, I think that a lot of people are really upset at the fact that like, you know, this went down and then there was it didn't seem like there was any like, you know, repercussion for it. It's like we're just gonna lock you up. We're just gonna put you in handcuffs. And
he was arrested peacefully.
Yeah, and we've got multiple numbers of murders with people unarmed.
Black people who are unarmed. Yeah. And that struck home because on the gun he wrote like the N-word on the gun. Yeah, here's reparations on the gun, which is terrible. But he wrote Dylan Roof's name on the gun as well. That's crazy. And that reminds me of Dylan Roof, the guy who went in South Carolina church.
Yeah, there was like 9 people that died in that. Yeah, how many people died in this one?
10. And he kind of copycatting it. And remember, Dylan Roof was arrested. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then taking
the Burger King. Both armed individuals. Yeah. So you contrast that, you know. So it's just real sad. And my hope with the podcast audience, man, is as creatives, as artists and producers, let's use our platforms, man, to end racism, end hate, end bigotry. And let's in particular in the black community, let's stop beefing with each other, man. Yeah. You don't got to be best friends with the next person if you know he, you know, a fuck nigga or whatever, but let's at least end the beef. Let's just be peaceful with each other, man, because we got enemies from the outside trying to take us out. Right. You know what I mean? And there was some other ignorant stuff that happened in Buffalo that same day. I'm not gonna mention it. Yeah. You can Google that, and it's kind of, you know, it kind of really like upsets me to rapper beef. We beefing with each other, fighting each other, stomping each other out, but yet a few miles away, you got a white supremacist trying to kill us. Yeah. We got to stick together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's my message, man, at the beginning of the podcast, man.
No, I agree, man. Yeah, man. So let's talk music, man, because like the world is jacked, so we can't do much about it.
Yeah, well, real quick, our last episode, you know, we gave y'all, we've been dropping so many fire episodes, we gave y'all a week to kind of catch up. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So prior to that week, we interviewed Jay Melodic, and we didn't talk about new music then either. Yeah. So it's a lot of new music we didn't mention. So I'm gonna quickly just mention some of the albums that came out. Yeah. Pusha T, It's Almost Dry came out. Dope album produced by Kanye and Pharrell. You know what I'm saying? That had 55K in sales. That was Pusha T's first #1 Billboard Hot 200 album.
Dang. Shout out to Pusha T on that for sure.
Future, I Never Liked You came out. They got a lot of producers on there, including Weezy, TM88, ATL Jacob, and more. All 16 of the songs were on the Billboard Hot 100.
16 records.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah. And then since then, he's had a deluxe came out with 4 or 5 more records, man. Yeah. That album did 222K around that first week.
That's really good.
Heck yeah. I think that's the largest album to date before Kendrick. We'll get to Kendrick in a minute, but that was the largest album sales to that point. Jack Harlow, Come Home and the Kids Miss You came out. Dope album. That sort of thing around 111, 110.
Yeah, super dope.
First week. A lot of producers on there like Pharrell, a bunch of them. I don't want to get into it because I got enough time. Yeah. But then Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. First he dropped the Heart Part 5 video that did like I think 15 million in one day.
Yeah, which is really always like a prelude to something coming anytime he dropped those.
Exactly. And that came out. They sampled the Marvin Gaye I Want You. Beach Noise, a production trio produced that song. Amazing visual, right? Yeah, with the changing of the heads, with the Nipsey, OJ, Kobe, Jussie Smollett, Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? So I know you check that out.
Yeah, I love it. Like I was super stoked at the fact that like the music sounded like they kind of went back to the actual time that Marvin Gaye did the record. Yeah. Like I was kind of under the impression that the music was from the actual stems, but comes to find out that I think you did some research and found out that it was a production duo that did it and they were just killing it. So I was super excited about that. And, and then like, the whole like facial, deep fake, deep fake energy on there. That shit was really dope, man. I think it was a great way to promote because man, like for a while we had done fallen into this method of just sneak dropping records on people with no promo, no nothing up. I mean, 5 days ain't a whole lot of time, but considering, it was a great way to set it up. I do think that like by doing that, he definitely secured himself, in a certain amount of people checking for it and couldn't wait till Friday to get here, yada, yada, you know what I'm saying? And the rollout was really dope, man, because he actually went back to the old school way of like really using your website to get the word out.
Yeah, I was going to say because I think they announced it on April 20th.
Yeah, so album. Like, and you had to like, you had to like sign into his site. You had to go through a few steps to find out stuff. He was dropping clues. He was giving like information on what he was thinking. I think the PG Lang was kind of announced in this process. Also, he kind of goes under the new name Oklahoma. All that shit just was really dope, man. It just shows you, man, that like fans still want to see. They want involvement. They want to be involved when an artist is putting something out. Yeah. And like feel like the process is what it is. So that was really dope, man.
Yeah, so then the album dropped Friday, right?
Yep.
Dope album, man. A lot of producers on there. I'm gonna name a few of them. Soundwave, Beast Noise again. DJ Khalil, Cardo, Mario, Luciano, Boy Wonder, John Sweet, Tay Beast, FNZ, Dahi, Alchemist, Tyler, Melch Limbacher, and a few more producers on there, man.
It's crazy, man.
Dope album.
Yeah. Man, I'm super, man, I've been blessed, man, in my career, bro. Like, I was really dope to see FNZ, man. Like, I've been seeing them on pretty much everything as of late.
Yeah.
And what's really dope about them, man, was those are two dudes that are from, like, Perth, Australia.
Okay.
And I met them some years ago, man. We was all hanging out with Jim Johnson. And I think at the time they were doing business with Jim Johnson.
Okay.
But, man, just to see them guys go from coming all the way over here from Australia, man, settling in and figuring it out to becoming like some really top tier producers. Like it is a personal goal of mine, man, to try to get those guys on the show. So I reached out to Zach.
Okay.
And Zach was like, "What's up? We're gonna do it." So like as soon as we can get a chance, man, we're gonna get him on the show for sure.
Nice, man. That album is projected to do around 350,000 first week. So then that'll be the biggest album.
350. Them numbers are starting to look like they used to look. You know what I mean?
Back in the day, Back in the day, man.
That's fine.
But shout out to that album. I thought it was really good. It's a good album. He bearing his heart again. I think Soundwave is producing on most of the songs on there. So it's got a cohesive sound.
Yeah, him and Cardo, man, went crazy on this one record. Savior. That shit just goes so crazy, bro. Anyway, you know what I'm saying?
I think Silent Hill. I think everybody jumping on Silent Hill with Kodak Black. That's like one of them.
Oh, that's super crazy too, yeah.
They got to do a video for that.
What's your favorite?
Silent Hill.
Oh, that is it.
Okay, Silent Hill, man. That's my favorite. That's super dope. So anyway, man, we got a very, very dope guest, man.
Yeah, man.
An OG, a legend.
Yeah.
In the music
I got on
game.
all my blue today. You know what I'm saying?
I got a little bit of blue. Yeah, man. Dope. Courtney Sills, a.k.a. Bear.
Yeah.
Was on the show.
Yeah.
It's a dope interview, man. A lot of good gems, man.
Yeah, man. Y'all really tune into this one, man. This guy is one of my mentors and has definitely been a great leader in the community out here in Atlanta and in the music biz, of course. So I'm excited to share this with y'all and, just tune in. Here we go.
Let's get it.
There it is.
Free game.
Welcome back to the Free Game Producer Podcast. We had a very, very special guest in the building.
Yes, sir.
Here you go, that bullshit. He started this shit out. A very, very special guest in the building. Man, don't come start that shit with me today, man. Hey, man.
Oh, shit.
Go ahead and finish your shit, because I got an intro too. Go ahead.
We got a very special guest, a OG, a great figure here in the Atlanta music scene. Been around a very long time. Worked with discovered 112, managed them. Artists like Jaggad Edge, Killer Mike, discovered Yelawolf. Used to manage you at one time, Willpower. We got Courtney Sills, a.k.a. Bear, in the building. How you doing, sir?
man. If y'all don't cut this shit
Hey, man,
out,
look,
man.
you got to get the intro, bro.
Introduce you right, you know.
Yeah.
We got to treat you right around here. You
When
know
I'm listening to this intro, I remember in 96, and it's so crazy. I was talking to the agent, Mark Cheatham, today, who booked 112 on this tour. One of the first tours that they went on was a tour with the Isley Brothers in 1996, right? Mm-hmm. What's so crazy is Ron Isley was old then, but he 80 years old now.
And he's extra old now,
and he's back on tour.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So, but there was a gentleman that I met who was with the Isley Brothers, had been with the Isley Brothers for many, many years. His name was Gorgeous George. And if you saw some of the Mr. Big videos, he was in the Mr. Big videos. He was also a older gentleman. He had a lot of hair, but he had his hair pulled back. It was wavy. He was always clean, like crispy clean with the suits. But he was the tailor who made all the suits and outfits for the Isley Brothers.
Wow.
But what I didn't know is he was also the person that introduced them every single night. And he brought them to the stage. He's the tailor, right? His introduction
was on this level.
No disrespect.
Killing you.
Gorgeous George's introduction was like, and this will not serve its justice. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, in the house tonight. We have the incredible, stupendous, absolutely tremendous, world famous, having hits from 1952 to 1997. The incredible, incomparable, world famous Isley Brothers.
I had to look up Gorgeous George.
I'm talking about every night. I'm sitting there like, and you hear the beat, the drummer,
building it up.
You got Ernie on the guitar, and I'm like, fuck this shit hard, right? And that's when I realized how this music business can really last.
Yeah.
Because in their show, I didn't know this, but in their show, his man Ron Isley would say, I wrote this song back in 1957. And they said, I think I want to shout, shake your hands, shout. I'm like, he said, what? 57? He wrote that?
That's crazy.
This 96. God. So guess what? When 112 was off that tour, sometimes I fuck around, I introduce them. Coming all the way from Cleveland Avenue.
Nice.
The world famous bad boy recording artist 112. Oh my God. I hit the button. Because I was the motherfucking sound man. I was the manager. I was
dope.
Starting and stopping the songs.
The barber.
I was the barber. I was security.
Everything.
I did all that shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I done took up y'all time.
Nah, that's fine, dog.
That
that speaks to like your lineage, man, and what you done seen and the places you've been, man. You know, this is super special because I know this guy. This is my mentor. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody who taught what I learned about the music business. 90% of it was sitting around this dude, just watching him move, make decisions, make plays, make calls, protect people, save people. I didn't see him send no heat on nobody, but I know that's possible. You know what I'm saying? But I saw it all, man.
The whole reason why I'm so honored to talk to you, because I know your story, I know your history, and you came up with the heavyweights.
Yeah.
You know, just high school, like Dallas Austin,
right.
T-Boz, Jermaine Dupri, and like, you know, what was that like?
JD won't answer my call, so if he sees this, let him know. Like, I really got a problem with it. When I see him, I'm going to address it, though. That's the homie, though. That's a big homie. When I see him, I definitely got to pull his coattail.
There it is. We need to get him on the show, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So once you do your thing, then we'll make that call.
Yeah, absolutely. It probably, never mind. But anyway, at any rate, the crazy shit about that to me is, and I say this frequently in my testimony, how good God is, and you know, that might not be the popular thing to say, but this industry of entertainment and music was not in my plans. People like Jermaine Dupri and Dallas Austin and maybe Tion and Divine Stevens and Jermaine Dupri, that was what they were doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were entertainers, whether or not they were dancers or performers or in Dallas always being musical. This was never, ever an aspiration, a dream, or a goal in no way, shape, or form. And just seeing how being in the right environments can spark things. You know what I mean? They say man plans, but God is the best planner. So for me, the reason I have so much love and respect for the entertainment industry, because I know for a fact that this shit saved my life. You know what I mean? Because being in that barbershop on Flash Shows and Old National, it was all the trappings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before the word trap, all the trappings were available. And the nigga, you know, did, you know, what probably everybody did, you know, kind of dibbled and dabbled. And, you know, my art barbershop, me and my buddy Dion and Rick and Gwen and Harold, our barbershop was cracking.
Yeah.
And it was from, you know, I guess the statutes of limitations. Now, I wouldn't normally answer this call.
Yeah.
But because it's probably somebody you would want to speak to.
Yeah.
But hold on, Dion.
Yes, sir.
I'm in the middle of an interview, but because it was you, I answered the phone.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that Dave Chappelle comment.
Man, get off my Instagram, my whatever it's called.
It's in my algorithm. I ain't looking for you.
Okay, well, I'll call you after my interview.
Who you interviewing?
I'm being interviewed. I'm the subject. Yeah, I'm the subject.
Well, what type of madness are you spewing?
We just talking about history and how good God is, and the fact that the industry of entertainment saved my life.
Okay.
You can go for that. Everybody say hello to Mr. No ID.
No ID.
He don't do podcasts, but he just did this one.
Yeah.
Bye, man. See, I get in trouble.
See, that's crazy. That speaks to it, man. You know, like I was always wanting to ask, how have you sustained so long? I mean, I know you personally, so I have my personal opinion as to why you sustain, and it's all good. You know what I mean? But I know that the business is not always sweet. It's not always, you know, the greatest environment to be in. You have to be smart. You have to be able to communicate. And I just wonder, you know, because we're not talking about just like a manager or a music executive that just kind of had acts, this, that, and the third. We're talking about some of the biggest acts in the business. Like each act that you've been a part of is like cemented in some type of cultural bigness, including your latest, you know, venture with Killer Mike. Like Killer Mike is that guy right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's said to be listed in the top 5 most trusted black men in the black community.
That's so good.
That's heavy.
That's so good.
Alongside LeBron James, Cornel West, and people of that stature. So when you think about it, even though I don't look at him that way, I don't trust him because I'm from the west side of Atlanta. You know what I mean? So I still be like, I don't know. You keep my wallet in let me keep my little wallet in my pocket.
Oh, man.
But, you know, I'm just fucking with you. But I think that, again, being raised by a single mother, educated single mother, and becoming or God gifting me with the talent of barbering, well, I'll say cutting hair, and me developing the skill of barbering through repetition, practice, and going to school and getting a master barber, passing the Georgia Board of Examinations and becoming a master barber, I developed not only the skill to barber, but to communicate. And having to meet strangers, service strangers, ask them what they like, how they like it, and really pay attention, because you want to do a good job. You want to, as a barber, you want to provide a good service. You want your client or your patron to be satisfied with the service so that they'll come back.
Yeah.
So with that being implanted in me, along with my mother's discipline and just making sure that her children had a religious background, being Southern Baptist and raised pretty much in the church. So we were raised to be decent people. You know, we had my sister and I, Kira, had a very good household. We came from a good structured household. Yeah. So what I've noticed is in this business, since I first probably went on tour maybe in 91 or 92, I went on tour with Another Bad Creation. This is the first time I had ever went on the road. And I was just amazed at the power of music. I was amazed to see young girls literally fainting and passing out over seeing Another Bad Creation. Yeah. And then I would come back from being on the road and come to the barbershop, and the homeboy had got murdered, or this homeboy had got robbed, or this homeboy had got locked up. And it just became evident to me that this is an outlet. You know, this music business is an outlet. Yeah. And to answer your question, I saw despicable people. You know, I mean, I met some real cutthroat individuals. I saw people who didn't have integrity. I probably did business with unknowingly and knowingly with people who didn't have integrity, who didn't have a moral code, who used their power and influence based on, if you was cracking in the 90s in Atlanta, it was rare. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was nobody but Dallas, and then JD, and then LA and Babyface. Yeah. But there was no access to them. So me having access to Dallas Austin created a lot of opportunities, but the door wasn't open for me to be a barber for ABC, because there's plenty of people who cut hair. Yeah. But part of it was my personality, who I was as a young man. Then for Dallas Austin to open the doors for me to basically be the on-call barber for Dallas Austin recording projects, opened the door for me to have one-on-one same conversations I would have in the barbershop, I was having with a young dude named Puffy, a young dude named Will Smith, young dudes named Tim and Bob, young dudes named Leslie Brathwaite, young dudes like Busta Rhymes, a young dude named Eric Sherman. Like, I was having one-on-one conversations, which I treated as my education. Nice. You know what I mean? I treated that like, damn, I get to shut this door, cut hair, and get some game.
That's right.
And ask questions and develop relationships. Yeah. So that being said, that same principle that comes from the barbershop, providing a good service, being on time, being trustworthy. And my clients would ask me at the studio, how much do you charge? I never gave them a price. I always would just turn my head and put my hand out. You pay me what you feel like I deserve. I was never disappointed. Yeah. You understand? So those relationships that I honored, like, I never was like, fuck that, fuck them. Right. Because I had, for the lack of a better word, the studio had become an escape from flat shows and Old National.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where a lot of my homeboys was doing whatever they had or felt like they had to do. You know what I mean? So I think the relationships and being honorable, like you won't find somebody who said that I cheated them.
Right.
Like that ain't what I do.
Right.
I have never respected a robber.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though robbing is popular now.
Yeah.
I never respect a robber. Take something from you that you don't work hard for. So the relationships, man, and just being a clean, decent person. And I realize now that's also a representation of or in honor of who my mother was.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I can't put no stank on her name.
That's right, man.
Of course
You know what I mean?
That's dope. Yeah, that says a lot, man. Because, like, you know, being out here in Atlanta and knowing who the movers and shakers are and witnessing people do really well, also witnessing people fall off.
For sure.
What I noticed is, like, there's a lot of people are connected to you in some form or fashion, like of some form of learning, some form of teaching. You know, like, not only are you, like, super respected in music, but, like, martial arts. You know what I mean? Like, I know me personally, I got so much game in just hanging out because we never really sat down and had music conversations. We were doing music together, but we never sat down and talked music, bro. Like, it was just like, big bro, this is where you should be. This is what you should be doing. You know, you sure you want to sign that will? Did you look at that? Is this, you know, this is what this publishing deal is. Like, you did a lot of explaining to me as we were going, because, I mean, you know, when we got in the game, bro, it was like fresh off of a hot weekend in the studio. We came back with some good music, and then it was like, okay, so it's activated now. We didn't know the difference. I didn't know the difference. You know what I'm saying?
It had become real.
It got real like within a week for me.
Really?
Yeah. I had been producing 10, 12 years before I met you, but it was a hobby. It was what I knew I wanted to do it. I had no idea how God was going to place it in my life. But 1 to 2 weeks that I ran down with Wolf and did the project, when we got back and played it for y'all, in that moment was when it got real for me. That's when it was like 100%.
Yeah, 1,000%.
You know what I mean? And I'll never forget it. You, Greg Street was there. When he heard the song, he was like, that's it. It just started to make sense like within 30 minutes of me
when
arriving.
That light bulb went off. Well,
and before you answer that, let me go into some other spaces.
Okay.
So, in my journey of trying to get on in Atlanta, I had taught myself how to be like a content creator. This was before this shit was cool. So I would see you all the time over at Grand Hustle. Cause I was over there filming and just trying to get in any way that I could at that time with whoever I could. But I remember meeting you there before any of our, dealings, came to be. And it was just like, you were one of the people I was like, whoever that guy is, that's one of the people I need to know. And that's just the way God lined it up. But
as I was saying about having those experiences with those incredible gentlemen who sat in my chair and ladies who sat in my chair to get haircuts, and the things that I was able to learn freely, like people who just see how genuine you are, and maybe genuine at the time could be naive, you know what I mean? And those people making the choice whether to give me fucked up false information or teach me wrong or give me good information. I made a lot of mistakes. You know what I mean? Well, I learned a lot, you know what I mean, from my mistakes. So I'm just like, by the time you and I met, which had to be what, 2000 what?
Yeah, like maybe 2000.
Okay, I was 112, Jaggad Edge, Outkast.
Yeah.
Quimini, Purple Ribbon,
Yeah.
Killer Mike. So at the time, I had probably understood that managing people, I had been burnt like a motherfucker by then. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, my heart had been broke. But I understood that the relationships and how you manage these relationships and how you cultivate these relationships, managing personalities was equally, if not more important, now equally as important than the product, as the product.
Yeah.
Because it's harder, as good a person as you may be, Will, as hard a worker as you may be, as diligent as you may be, as persistent as you may be, there's somebody looking to take or manipulate or misuse you for just because that's they get down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have seen good people be taken advantage of, and it just was not fair.
Yeah.
And it didn't add up. You know what I mean? Yes, somebody got rich, but they got rich off of somebody else's work. You know what I mean? And it's just that seed of distrust and hate and hurt, that shit just is like a cancer.
Yeah.
So if I could, in my simple-mindedness, if I could just be genuine, honest, clear, and help guide people, and I'm saying help guide people, not guide people, but give them the information to make their own decisions. Like, I'm just want to go shit on nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I met Puff when he got fired.
Yeah.
No one knew when he got fired that he was going to be Puffy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that.
Right.
But I seen him turn from that to being without a job, looking for assistance and help here in Atlanta from Dallas, to working tirelessly to become Puff Daddy for Flavor in Your Ear, Craig Mack, Biggie, in total, in his first 3 acts. And the fucking amount of energy and push and influence that it took, I was like, oh, if you can come back from some shit, you can make it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, it's okay to get fired. Yeah. It's okay to fail.
Yeah.
But can you come back from it?
That's right.
When you come back from it, niggas like, oh, I thought that motherfucker was down for the count.
Yeah. Can't kill it. Yeah.
Can't kill it.
Yeah.
So guess what this dude does consistently?
Yeah.
Watch.
That smile.
Smile like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
He always got a certain energy about him, and the light's still on.
Yeah.
That ain't a coincidence. That's energy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So with that being said, these being able to sustain in some way, shape, or form. I was just telling Country Boy Mike earlier, like, I hadn't asked for a job. People call me and say,
I was gonna speak to that. Like, I feel like, bro, I'm gonna tell you, man, like it amazes me because the positions you've been in, the places you've been all over the world, it's like, I know good and well you didn't ask for none of it.
I ain't asked for it.
Like, it's like the best part about it is you're being seeked out, you're being requested, you're being like,
through God's grace and mercy. And it's just, for me, the old man has been saying this to me for the last he's got to be 70. For the last 2 months, he said, Courtney, he don't put the T on, Courtney. Courtney, you ain't never lied to me. You always tell me the truth.
Yeah.
You might not tell me the truth. You might tell me the truth.
Yeah.
It ain't as hitting as hard, but
right.
I just respect that.
Yeah, man.
And I'm saying to myself, oh, like fundamentally, if you fundamentally sound with your ability to be a student, that means you always are in a position to learn, never being a know-it-all, the ability to adjust. Because I could have said, if I don't manage no artists, I don't want to be in the music industry. So when 112 fired me, I thought that was the end of the world.
Yeah.
And then when Blue called me and said, well, you want to come manage Jaggad Edge with me? You goddamn right.
Yeah.
But I didn't even realize that I had value. You understand that?
Yeah.
Like relationships, you break up a relationship, you might be like, ain't nobody gonna want me no more. But motherfucker, you got some value.
Yeah.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yep, absolutely.
So at the end of the day, when I realized that those lessons from 112, which were incredible, I love every last one of them dudes.
Yeah.
My whole crew that I was able to bring around and hire to work with 112, even from accountants, business managers, wardrobe, security, like band members,
Just
like
family.
literally hiring 15, 20 people and being the reason that they're able to, based on me, based on the barbering nigga who went and found the group, now these people are feeding their children
They got jobs.
based off of
Right.
my determination.
Yeah.
Still to this day,
Yeah.
a lot of those people are still working,
Yeah.
That's dope.
including 112, including Jaggad Edge,
Yeah.
including Killer Mike,
Yeah.
including
Willpower.
willpower, because you plant the type of seeds that are not to defeat an energy or to destroy an energy, which you can't. You can direct it, but you feed, you cultivate and fertilize those seeds. You plant those seeds, and then you see, damn, if I keep doing this in the name of God, because of how I was raised, I'm always going to give my mother that honor. People's lives can change.
It sure can, bro.
So I should be able to knock on a couple of doors if I need somewhere to, get a glass of water and lay down. And I ain't stole nothing.
Yeah.
I don't cheat nobody. I ain't over emotional. I ain't gonna overreact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people call me, and even though sometimes I'm like JD, this nigga ain't even call me back. But if he call me, guess what? I'm gonna answer.
Yeah. He gonna call. Is it, I know how this game is, bro.
I'm just fucking with JD.
Clearly. But you know what I'm saying? I think that that level of respect is there on all levels. So in due time, that's gonna settle.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It always works out.
Yeah.
We overthink and get in our feelings. I'm so glad I never did drugs or alcohol. If I did, I probably would have spiraled into a depression or something, just based on it. But my mother always taught me to have faith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even though I felt like I had to be in control and I had to make this happen and make that, at the end of the day, man, it's all gonna work out.
Yeah.
It's all gonna work out. Can you adjust?
Yeah. Yes.
Is your faith, is that what got you through the heartbreak? You mentioned having your heart broken in the business. And in life in general, when you're a good person, you often get hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Because the business is known to be shady. But
I'm a student of martial arts, right? My Kung Fu instructor, rest in peace, Sifu Terrence Walker,
Seafood.
beat my ass.
Yeah.
So that's pain. But because of that pain, I became what? A better martial artist.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, with no doubt in my mind, that with those experiences comes strength and wisdom. I prayed for wisdom. I didn't pray for riches. I didn't pray for mansions. I prayed for wisdom.
Yeah.
So that comes from experiences, some painful. You know what I mean? So I was never afraid. There was a moment when 112 fired me that I was embarrassed
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that's just easy.
Nah, I didn't lose a job at the barbershop. This is a shit. At the time we had our third #1 single, Dance With Me, going into the second single, which was Peaches and Cream, which I co-wrote.
Yeah.
Probably the album came in at #2 or #3 on the charts. The first single went #1. The second single went #1. And I'm like, but I got fired from a successful group. Like, we're successful.
Right.
So that was embarrassing, but I was just like, shit, I can still cut hair. I didn't even imagine somebody would say, hey, what you doing these days?
Yeah.
Nothing. Fucking me and Pooh Bear running around trying to make a group happen.
Yeah.
And like, you got, if you want to, man, you know, I could, you know, come meet me up here and let's talk. Next thing I know, I'm headed to LA with Jaggad Edge to stand in between Jaggad Edge and what's that man's name? Suge Knight.
Jeez.
Yeah. 2 weeks. 2 weeks after getting the call to work with Jaggad Edge, we need you to go to LA and I want you to know they got some problems with Suge Knight.
Oh, shit.
By the way.
Thanks.
Yikes.
Yeah.
On episode 83 of the podcast, we had Pooh Bear on as a guest, and that's a great story. That's your first cousin, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
How was that? Yeah. What was it like seeing him flourish, how he is right now, and finding him and stuff?
It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know how much I would even get into that. Yeah. I mean, it's weird. Like, I just am. I'm thankful for the wisdom, and I'm gonna call it wisdom right now. I mean, because that's the only word I can think of, to understand that everybody has their journey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And process. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and not weird in a fucked up way, but it's never happened. You know what I mean? It's never happened in my family for any generations. You know, and I can't necessarily. I had my great uncle Owen Island Thunderberg, who was the president of Citizen Trust Bank, who was played a huge part in the building of Black Atlanta with Maynard Jackson, and you know what I mean. But I didn't meet him until I was 19, 20 years old. Yeah. But he played a very important role in what Atlanta is today with Citizen Trust Bank. Yeah. But having someone who was more like a brother to me say, if it wasn't for you, I would not be where I am today. And, you know, I've never I've never Googled Pooh Bear's net worth. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's just my cousin. Yeah. You know what I mean? But when I see him, and I'd have to be a blind man not to see.
He got it.
Right. You know what I mean? You know? Yeah. And then, but it's weird because that's my little cousin. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was, him and his brother was like my little brothers. Mm-hmm. So it's just, again, it's just the planting of seeds. You know what I mean? It's just putting people in position who you know are talented.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know deserve a shot. Now, what they do with it, they do with it. You know, the hardest part for me has been, how do they say it in the sorting the wheat from the tare? Mm-hmm. And sometimes I find myself investing energy into possibly unfertile ground, but you don't know that. Yep. You know what I mean? You just working that soil. You know what I mean? You don't know that. Yeah. Or you don't know what's gonna come out of it.
That's right.
So with Pooh Bear, it was, and I didn't realize this until he said something over the last 5 years, is he wanted to be the next ABC, him and his little group at 9, 10 years old. He couldn't sing. At the time, I was going on the road with ABC. Mm-hmm. So you got to think, there was nothing else in Atlanta that was cracking.
Right.
Like, they were cracking. They in the video with Michael Jackson. They huge. 2 million, 2.5 million sold their first album. Too young to even tour. But it was mania for them kids, right?
Yeah.
So my cousin wanted to be the next ABC. Then came Crisscross, and just him seeing me going to the studio. And then he started going to the independent studios. And I'm just noticing, like, damn, he's gone for a few hours a day. You know, and I would come see them rehearse and shit like that. So that had to be 92, 93. We actually lived together. My mother put me out the house, and his mother, my auntie, needed a place to live, and I had good credit. I was a barber, so I was able to sign for an apartment. And like 2 weeks after I signed for the apartment for them, my mother put me out, so I ended up having to stay in the apartment. So we lived together.
Right.
And my aunt his mother was like, it didn't matter if she didn't have but 2 dresses to her name. She slept on the couch. She made sure her baby slept in beds and got to school every day. Yeah. So I'm seeing the sacrifice. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm out here doing my thing, trying to, tour and be on the road, and not knowing that my efforts are inspiring my little cousin, because he's that much closer to something that no one else really has access to. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, so by 95, when 112 got signed, I think my cousin had got signed by LaFace in the group that he was in. It didn't go anywhere. By 96, we were cracking. Yeah. And when I would come home and I would hear these songs, and I was hearing this shit that Jason was doing, I was like, shit, I need to get him with Deron. Yeah. Because he writing these songs. Like, I'm hearing this shit.
From 112.
Deron from 112. And so Deron called me one day and he said, hey, man, we on the corded phones. Man, listen to this. He's at his mother's house off of Cleveland Avenue. He's playing the piano. He had a little Casio. Like, Deron used to carry Casios, no case, through the airport.
That's fine.
That's fine?
Yeah.
That shit used to be so lame. And he started singing, dun 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 dun. He said, man, I almost got it. I said, well, let me, my cousin Pooh Bear. I'm Bear. He turns into Pooh Bear. I said, let me get him over there. So he said, yeah, bring. That's some young energy. Man, why they wrote anywhere? You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And then it was time for us to go back to New York to start recording. I was like, let me bring my cousin. You know what I mean? So he said him sitting in the studio, seeing Puff walk in, was like,
changed his life.
This shit is real.
Changed his life.
Like, it's possible.
Yeah, bro.
Just the thought that it's possible changes everything.
Yeah.
Mm. You know what I mean? So when you say, in that short of time, even though all my years leading up to that, I didn't plan to meet you.
Right.
But that was your And then we moved to New York.
That's right.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, damn. And then we in the studio with, what's the white boy name?
Jim Johnson?
Not Jim Johnson, Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake, yeah. I got a photo I took of that. I got that. Yeah, I got a photo, yeah.
So I understand that experiences and exposure can spark the mind, you know?
Yeah.
The creative mind, like you don't know what can come out of this shit.
Yeah.
Bro. You just do the best you can, you know?
Crazy.
Do the best you can.
Do the best you can.
There it is.
That's a nugget if y'all listening. Do the best you can.
Well, you know, so you got all this going on in music. You've done a lot of great things, which has also probably turned your Rolodex into a multi-million-dollar asset. But with that, I'm watching you do other things with your connects. So you started Bear Strong. And, you know, we're all on social media now. So that is our way of being let into each other's lives in whatever way a person wants to let you in. And I'm noticing, man, that like this is becoming a really big thing because you got big friends in big places, man, and you're using that now to help you do good.
JD didn't call me back. That's what I was calling him about, Bear Strong. But go ahead.
and so on his head, bro. Let's go. You know, so
now that's my guy now.
Yeah. Explain Bear Strong, man. Tell everybody what that is and like
it's,
you know,
it's
how can
complicated.
People help?
It's complicated, but it's not complicated. And this is another thing, man. And y'all might think I'm just totally sitting up here blowing smoke through, but I'm not, bro. And I tell you that the reason that Bear Strong Inc., the nonprofit organization, exists is because of my affiliation with the Crips.
Yeah.
Young, 17, 16 years old, 80s. LA niggas moving out to College Park for a better life. And I end up getting turned out on Crippin', not knowing what it is, the most ignorant nigga in the world, not knowing what the fuck it is, but my homeboy is a certified maniac.
With it.
He with the shit. And my best friend told me, he said, yeah, my neighbor moved here from California. He knows karate. And I know you know karate, so y'all need to meet. So that's how I met this dude from Cali with the curl and the slippers and the trench coat and the sawed-off shotgun at school.
Yeah.
My Crip homie.
Yeah.
And over the years, that was 86, 87. Over the years, I've made a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm from College Park, so I just ain't never been no hoe. You know what I mean? I just am not finna do that.
Yeah.
We was taught early in the game, we never, if a nigga trying to rob you, we ain't getting down on our knees, nigga.
Yeah.
Shoot me in the face.
Yeah.
I'm not getting down on my knees. I'm not finna be nobody's punk, nobody's hoe, period. That was our code for us, for my crew. And over the last 30 years, as gang culture via the internet has become more widespread, I found myself representing what I represent and how I represent it on a higher level. Meaning my interest has not been about the destruction of nobody, really.
Right.
You know, my vision or my journey or my thoughts have always been, I'm claiming this hood. I said I've been programmed to claim it, but I don't really have time for the dumb shit. I ain't got time to gangbang. I ain't got time to get on dope.
Yep.
I ain't got time to be like, I'm on the road right now, so this shit looks interesting. So the 90s, the East Coast, West Coast shit, the 2000s, the Lil Waynes, the games, all this gang shit started really becoming popular. And I found that for some reason, some of the young homies really fucked with me. And maybe it's because I didn't try to misuse them. I didn't try to throw them away.
Yeah.
I didn't say, hey, we'll go, do, right. And then, you know what I mean? I just was never with that shit. So I had been put in a position to do some conflict resolution. You know what I mean? I was put in a position to be able to go into certain communities or neighborhoods with no problems, because they know it's Bear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had a meeting one day, randomly bumped into a guy named Chris Hicks. And Chris, we was in Lenox Mall, and he was saying that, telling me what he was doing in film. And I was telling him what I had done with Trigger Warning, helping find the talent for the Cripicola,
yeah.
and location scouting, talent scouting. And he was like, well, and they let y'all shoot over there and they let y'all do this? I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't they? Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? Man, we have issues, sometimes going into certain neighborhoods doing, filming and stuff. Because at the time, I think he was working for the city of Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he said, man, you should really look into doing that for production houses. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, and all the conflict resolution shit, do you have a nonprofit? Like, yeah, we need that in the city. Crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? He said, Bear, every time I hear your name, they're like, call Bear, he'll fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He'll get it sorted out.
Yeah.
And I realized that over the last 10 years that's a lot that I've been doing, but with no support. So that's how Bear Strong was really. Well, I've always, sponsored football teams, Old National Athletic Association. I've always done that. But it became real to me because my big brother, Big U, had been over since the day he got out of prison in 2004. He really had been investing in the children.
Yeah.
In his community. And as he and our relationship started growing and the trust got there and we got to know one another, and I was just seeing like a lot of his time, like this big bad Big U.
Yeah.
Which I don't know shit about no Big U. But I just see how niggas treat cuz. So I'm like, this nigga at the football field every day with kids, coaching. So he can't even, at the time he was on parole or whatever, they wouldn't even allow him really to coach the high school team because he was still on paper.
Right.
But the amount of time and effort that he invested in those kids, and me understanding that if these children have something to do, they won't get focused on the programming and the domestication of gang culture.
Right.
And when I say culture, I mean from a LA standpoint, you're talking 50 years of
it's ingrained.
Gang culture. It's ingrained. Yeah. Anything outside of that religion of gang banging is foreign. So for me, I was like, you know what? Can't coach football, but I can help these kids. I can continue to do what I'm doing. I can continue to. What and Big U always say, he said, man, I'm focusing on the babies because if you get them young, you have a chance. Because once they get in them teenage years, once they commit to the hood, they committed to the hood.
Right.
So he was the inspiration. Chris Hicks was the guidance. Killer Mike was, supportive of it. And people, I don't think a lot of people thought I was going to stick to it. Maybe thought, man, this nigga just trying to hustle. But I know by the grace of God how many lives have been saved because my phone rang.
Yeah.
Like grown men.
Right. Right.
24 hours a day. and it's a lot of niggas know it.
Yeah.
So I don't have the luxury of not answering my phone. because somebody's life could be,
in
you
the
know
balance.
what I mean?
Yep.
In the balance. Just because a nigga don't have the ability to reason and to think clearly. So Bear Strong was born, and getting out here in these communities and seeing these kids in need of simple, basic, essential needs, just was like, hey man, I can do something. And with the help of my sister Kira, my wife Tina, Rhonda, Country Boy Mike, Motown, we just set out to help children in these communities. And I had no idea that within 2 years, we would be able to impact so many kids and families' lives. And it is the absolutely best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Nice.
I might, if I knew what heroin and crack cocaine felt like, I would liken it to that.
Yeah.
It feels, it's more gratifying and satisfying than sex. To see a child smile and be thankful and inspired and happy. And it's just, hey man, I'm fighting to have that feeling consistently through giving.
That's fine.
Through giving, you know? And then to be able to say, and I'm from rolling 60s. Like, you are?
Yeah.
1,000%. But this is how I represent the Crippin'. This is because I've even though joining the gang is being a follower, I've never really been a follower.
Yeah.
I'm self-reliant nonconformist. So if I'm going to represent, I'm going to represent it the way I represent it.
Yeah.
I'm not into the destruction of the black man. I am into the uplift of and the brotherhood of. Yeah. So we can get down with that, you know. So it's just been, I have to thank Big U for all that he's done and does for me daily to keep me inspired. Because sometimes when people don't answer my phone calls and don't return my calls, I mean, I really feel a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's on my heart. It ain't on their heart. You know what I mean? And I can't expect everybody to see things the way I see things. And in the minute I'm a little bit too, I'm nudging a little bit too much, a professional nudger, it's bullying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, JD, you stung me when you didn't got down. You know what I mean? But God is so good that none of the children missed out. Yeah. You know? So many people have contributed to Bear Strong Inc. that we have had storage houses full of essential items that we've donated to hundreds and hundreds of families. Hundreds. Yeah. And it's like, they can't believe it. And I can't believe it. So I'm like, dang, they just need diapers. There's a community outreach center in Clayton County where my good friend Meonte Dalton, rest in peace, had me come visit, and she was telling me about what they do there. They service Henry County, Clayton County, and Fayette County. And she was saying there's some times where ladies would come and say, hey, I need diapers for my baby. And they would literally only be able to give a mother 2 diapers.
Whoa. Wow.
That's 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So at that point, I was like, hold up, are you for real? And when I went to see the pantry, I understood. I said Clayton, Henry, and Fayette County. This year, I think we took 3 truckloads of diapers.
Come on, man.
To that community outreach center.
Nice.
That's what's up.
Nice.
It took 10 people to unload these trucks. So, yeah, man, I don't get no better than that.
Yeah.
If I don't do nothing else, like that feels so good. And to see my kids involved and to get my nephews involved and, all the volunteers, you realize it's about legacy, man, and how you can help others. And hopefully one day if I have to knock on somebody's door, they be like, I know you.
That's right.
Here. Yeah. Sit down, rest your feet.
Yeah. Drink some water.
Have something to eat.
Yeah, that's dope.
You talk about conflict resolution. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to know your take on how we can, because you talk about you don't want to see the destruction of black men. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on how can we curb some of like the violence in the music industry?
In the music
with
industry?
Like beef and, artists.
I'm going to be honest with you, bro, not to cut you off. During the pandemic, I watched a show called The Last Kingdom on Netflix.
Yeah, Vikings.
The Viking type shit, and what even though it's a fictional story, probably, what I realized from this based in the 1100s or 1200s is that violence has always been and will always be. Yeah. It's necessary. It is nature. So that also was a revelation to me. Is like, don't so much focus on, or don't be so hurt, and I don't even want to say hurt, devastated by certain things that happen in the community based on your expectations. Because once you realize that there is no existence without there being violence, every single organism is fighting for survival. And in nature, everything feeds off something else. Now, some of the shit that people kill themselves over or kill each other over today is the stupidest, pettiest shit in the world. But I understand there can't be peace without war. This was what Kung Fu taught me. Like, everything has to have balance. Everything has to have balance. So in understanding that, I said, all right. It's unrealistic to think that you can eradicate violence. You can't. It's not possible.
Right.
If it was, God would have been did it. But that's part of nature. Period. You ain't seen a tiger sit down to dinner.
Right.
He got to go hunt.
He got to go get it. Yeah.
He got to go get it. A worm is destroying a tree to eat. You understand? Mm-hmm. So when I thought about it in that way, and it seems as absurd or simple as it might seem, it is that simple. I said to myself, well, if I can help or assist the change of thought in some people's head, that decision making might change. Because at the point of, and martial arts taught me this, rest in peace, Sifu Terrence Walker, and my instructor, Professor Abdullah Mujahid, and Sensei Mark Clark, and Master Joaquin Bonilla, and Master Greg Lloyd, and Grandmaster Shaka Zulu, Sifu Xian Ming from the Shaolin Temple. I understood through the teachings of martial arts is to always remain calm.
Okay.
So calm. Calm means clarity. My Sifu taught us that whether we have one enemy attacker or 10, our heart rate should not change. Remain calm.
Okay.
What did Jesus tell them people on that boat when that storm was rocking the ship? Peace, be still. It's about regulating heart rate. We getting into science now. It's spiritual.
I didn't think about that shit. Well, when them panic attacks start, boy.
It's absolutely 1,000% nothing but adrenaline.
It is.
So when you understand that the gift that God gave us, he gave us two gifts. He gave us life through his breath. Correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave us the word. Inhaling and exhaling is the most vital thing that we need to exist, to live. We can go without food for 3 weeks, water for 2 seconds without breath. So when you understand how vitally important inhaling and exhaling is, which is a huge part of my martial arts, especially in the conditioning and endurance of, just in the power, when you understand chi, energy, which is also what the Christians call the Holy Ghost. The breath means spirit, spirit means breath. There is no spookiness about it. It's getting centered, which is inhaling slow, traveling the oxygen throughout the body and back out the body. It's centering, it's getting in tune and centered with the chi, which is, chi means energy, and the energy is the source. And who's the source?
Yeah, God.
So at that point, you can't become angry or you can't become mad. At that point, you can make better decisions because you're not frustrated. Martial arts teaches us to use our enemies' anger against them. When they push, you pull. You cancel that negative energy. You use their anger against them because as they're angry, their energy is being zapped. You never notice how tired you get after you've been mad?
Yeah.
Tired as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Boxers don't get in the ring mad. They get in the ring relaxed. But if what Mike Tyson said to your punk ass before you got in the ring made you right, man, he won.
He won.
Every Kung Fu movie you've ever seen, the Kung Fu master is the calmest, coolest motherfucker in the room.
Yeah.
Never stressed. Because once you constrict those arteries, you're constricting the energy. The energy is in the oxygen. So you can't be fluid. You can't be clear.
Yeah.
So the peace and the clarity of thought comes in those peaceful times. So being able to teach a young man to not react off emotion or overreact off emotion, how to teach a young man to say, hey, you upset? Let's go to dinner. Let's talk about it over some food. Oh, you upset with him? Well, let me call him because I'm sure it's a misunderstanding.
Right.
And then when you get these young people together, they end up loving each other. Because they open to it because they calm now. You understand?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So utilizing what martial arts has taught me in conjunction with what my mother preached to us based on biblical teachings and Christianity and how it really just lined up to be the same. It's like, come on, bro, whatever it is you're going through right now, guess what? Tomorrow is a new day. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Like, guess what? The nigga who you think hates you really just think you hate him. So he hating you back. Somebody told him you said fuck him. Well, you didn't really say that.
Right.
Because nobody really wants to die.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they can get in the room, and I'm not opposed to fading.
Right.
Like, y'all really want to fade? Some do. Most don't.
Right.
Most want to talk it out and not be called a punk afterwards.
Right.
If they don't have to be called a punk, if they can like, oh, this shit makes sense. How can we get some money together? How can we be resourceful? How can we help each other? Oh, man, I didn't even know I know your cousin. That's the shit about Atlanta.
Yeah.
We all know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some opportunity there to just shut that dumb shit down. And if it does get to the point where y'all gotta catch a fade, catch a fade.
Yeah.
In private, without cameras.
Yeah.
It don't prove shit. But at the end of the day, because of martial arts, we always sparred. We always had to bow to each other, spar, and when we finish, bow to each other, shake each other's hands, and hug. And that's the same principle of conflict resolution. Now it's over.
Yeah.
Where y'all want to go?
Yeah.
Somebody want to go to this concert with me? Both of y'all come with me. You know what I mean? Then it's like, damn, this shit was silly. Silly as fuck. Like, come on, man. This shit is so simple. And because we become, or the promotion of emotional reaction and the programming of the music is shoot, kill, slide on this, slide on that, dump on this, clip on this, and ooh, I got this gun. It's just fucked up programming, man.
Yep.
It's fucked up.
We definitely need some of that, though. Some of that resolution, though, I think. You know.
It's all in the breath. It's all in the calmness, man. It's all in accessing that power, that source, man. And once you do that, and you realize ain't none of this shit really worth it. You know what I mean? It ain't worth it.
Right.
But guess what? We can't save everybody.
Yeah. They don't do what they do.
Yeah.
They're going to do what they do. My man told me, he said, as long as you save one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes it a little easier for me. Because I'm thinking, I got to save thousands.
Yeah.
One.
Just one.
Just one.
We got a lot of up and coming rappers, producers that watch this show, and I hope they take something from this, you know, to avoid some of the mess that's out here. Because to me, it's crazy on social media.
Bro, my instructor, Professor Mujahid, told me in Detroit, Michigan, one time I got into some shit with some niggas. I was so cocky and confident based on my training that I was looking for the opportunity to whoop some niggas, and he jumped in between me and the situation, man, and it scared me to the level of energy that he put out. You know, like, and I was like, ooh. And he said to me later that night, he's a Muslim, good Muslim brother. He said, Bear, do not let Satan trick you. As you come into the knowledge of self, as you continue to make decisions, the right decisions for righteousness, Satan will continue to attack. Because the more righteous decisions you make, the closer you get to God.
Yeah.
The more unrighteous decisions, the closer you get to Satan. He said he'll trick you through your ego, through your macho shit. He'll trick you off the streets. He'll trick your life away. He'll put you in a position where you'll get killed. So you never even get to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at that point, I became very aware of the balance. You know, they say, which wolf? It's the wolf that you feed. It's the energy that you feed. It's the energy that you feed. And I've been, you know, I'm human, so, you know, shit, so be some rough days. Some days I fall victim to my lower self. But for the most part,
it's higher level.
Higher level. Higher level.
Yeah.
Big, humongous shout out to OG Troop, the legend.
Yeah.
My little bro. Miss you, bro. That's where higher level came from. It comes from the transition that Troop made in life to a spiritual level.
Yeah.
And at that point, I knew I had to do some elevating, you know.
Yeah. Well, so what's next, man? Because I know you working with Killer Mike. Like, what can we expect from, you know, Sills Entertainment and the involvement? I just saw you on one of TV's greatest TV shows here recently. You had that cameo on Ozark.
Yeah, you one of the last people I'm just accepting their calls. Like, everybody else got to call my assistant.
Yeah, come on.
See if they could get in contact with me, man. Man, it's been such a blessing working with Killer Mike and seeing him mature and become, you know, I'm going to say with all due respect, this much successful.
Yeah.
Because the possibilities are that he can become hugely successful.
It's amazing what's already happened, man.
Yeah.
And when we get off the mic, I'm gonna talk to you about my first encounter with you and what you were dealing with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. We'll talk about it later. But it was a definitive moment of conflict resolution that I watched you do.
Oh, wow.
We'll get into it later.
So what has happened is Killer and I's relationship has continued to grow, and there's a trust there.
Yeah.
And he's such a special individual because a lot of times artists, as they get money, they equate money with, the world equates money with power.
Yeah. He
just happens to be an intelligent, masterful with his wordplay type of dude, but he's very aware of his shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's very aware that, we as men can get egotistical. And the thing that I love about him is his willingness to have, I don't want to say someone like me, but just someone, or be willing to have energy around him that will oppose his thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, that is probably one of the most needed things that men need. They need a challenge of thought, because a lot of times their ego is blinding, but he seems to have become okay with his big brother saying, "Hey man, that ain't it. Yeah, that ain't it." And I'm just amazed at his willingness, and maybe that's God's purpose for me in his life and him in mine. You know what I mean? Because I've seen people elevate to very, very high levels, and I've seen the stress of that elevation become detrimental in so many ways.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people be hurt based on other people's success. So it's just a fine balance and line of what he calls advisors. You know what I mean? Good counsel is what he calls it. Mm-hmm. Good counsel. So having been, around some of the biggest names in the music business for many years, and having the gift of a spirit of discernment, and thankful for him trusting me to be by his side a great deal of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a huge responsibility, because I know that there's history being made,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of motherfuckers who really did not think that JD was going to be JD.
Yeah.
Puff was going to be Puff.
Facts.
Or Birdman was going to be Birdman. Or Top Dog was going to be Top Dog. Or, you know what I mean? But when you see that there's a common denominator there, and you see that you most of the successful ones keep some day ones with them, people who are not disillusioned by their fame and fortune, because it's so difficult to not get full of yourself, because everybody wants to be your friend and nobody's really your friend.
Yeah.
By the way, I ran into Yelawolf.
Oh yeah, we gonna talk about that too. That's dope.
That was different.
Okay then.
2 weeks ago, I got it on video.
All right.
Yeah.
This is great, man.
Yeah. Well, man, listen. Everybody needs to know your social media. Everybody needs to know how to. Well, I don't know if you want to be reached, but let everybody know where they can check you out.
If they can get involved with Bear Strong,
like anything, any type of information you want us to have, man. Let's do that.
Okay. I'm on Instagram as Higher Level Bear.
Yeah.
And that's my personal, and my nonprofit organization, Bear Strong NPO, on IG and on Facebook, Bear Strong Inc. And we are always in need of whatever donations, $2, $5, $10. Like, I haven't gotten to the point in success of Bear Strong where I'm paying myself.
Yeah.
Like literally every single dime goes towards the improvement of some children. You know what I mean? So the proof is in the pudding, you know. I can't. Yeah. So if y'all can follow me on the Bear Strong and see what we're doing and see what we're doing this summer in preparation for the next school year, I'm super excited about that. We've been asked to join forces with the incredible World Changes Church International.
Oh yeah.
I'm super excited about that collaboration, and we got some things going on, man, that is really gonna help affect our community through not only the children, but the teachers.
Yeah.
The teachers.
Yeah. Can't forget about it.
Oh my God, man.
So easily forgot.
Forgot, but that's where our kids spend most of their day.
Yeah. Facts.
You know? And for those of us that don't have little kids, or we do have kids, but we don't, you know, play a huge part in the academics and stuff like that, like when you get to see 50, 100 kids disciplined, in order, and listening, and just happy and bright and full of possibilities, you like, oh, this is where the investment should be. I can't buy another motherfucking piece of jewelry or expensive shoes. This is the investment in these babies.
Yeah.
Because I done had so much goddamn fun over the last 30 years. Like, I done done it all.
Yeah.
I really don't want for nothing.
Right.
My kids don't want for nothing. So how can we make or help these other children believe in themselves and understand how valuable they are in their decision making, you know?
Yeah.
The first time I heard Pooh Bear say to me, and I adopted this, man, I'm thankful to God for him. He said, Bear, man, I believe in you like you believed in me. Shit was powerful.
Damn. That's good.
Can you imagine a child not ever hearing that?
Yeah.
A child never having a glimpse of hope. All they hear and deal with daily is maybe some ignorant ass parents or whatever their situation is, you know, and then they fuck around and meet somebody who say, man, you're incredible. You're special. Oh, you are so dope. Oh, man, you accomplished that. I bet you can accomplish more.
Yeah.
Let me give you this for all your hard work. And then they understand how they can be rewarded for the good.
Yeah.
You planted a seed.
Game changer.
Game changer.
There it is.
When you saw that it was possible.
Yeah.
Yelawolf still working, bro.
Getting it. Yes, sir.
He just called me and said, look, man, I'm looking. He on FaceTime.
Yeah.
He said, I remember when you wanted me to buy a fancy car, and all I wanted was a truck. My grandfather's
truck. He got that fancy car now.
He was buying a Rolls Royce.
He sure was, bro.
And he called me to tell me, Bear, I remember 10 years ago.
Yeah, man.
I couldn't see it.
But you sure told him he could get it. Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you can't, this shit worth way more than money, man. You know?
When you gonna do a book, man?
I need to. Let me say something about the last thing I was saying. When I was watching The Last Kingdom in the first 2 or 3 seasons, the king, I can't remember his name, was writing every day. He was writing big manuscripts, writing. And one of the warriors said, what are you writing? He said, I'm writing history.
Yeah.
Because if I don't write history, how will
anyone know?
Yeah. So at some point, when the warrior and the king kind of fell out, he started rewriting history, writing the warrior out of history. But by then, it was too late because the kingdom
started to know who the warrior was.
Knew who the warrior was, so they pass on the stories of these warriors. So I'm telling you, when they say you can live forever, it's based on those seeds being planted. That's what Diane, my mother, you gotta plant those seeds. You can live forever.
Yeah, man.
In the right light.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my mission, because my sons and my grandchildren, they got to live on, and they got to be able to say, I got to stand on this name.
That's right.
You know?
It means something.
It means something.
Yeah.
Just ain't a name now.
Yeah. Well, man, look, I'm honored to have you on the show, brother.
I know I talk too much.
Nah, man.
JD.
This is great.
Thank you, man. I'll be glad to do this anytime. If you ever got to get something out there and want people to know about it, let me know. We will turn all the lights.
No face, no case. Y'all check out BB Ty and Woo the Realers.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I'm into right now. And you will see more of Bear on the silver screen.
Come on,
you know
man.
What I mean? Coming to a theater near you. By the way, they cut out me and Ruth sex scene.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? They said it was a little too real.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But it might come out in the edits. You know,
there you go.
Special edition. But yeah, I think I caught the little acting bug, even though I ain't having out one single solitary line. But
hey, man, you had to play like you was into the conversation, though. You know what I'm saying? It was cool.
I sat there for 4-5 hours trying to eat a half a French fry. You know what I mean? And the whole time I'm like, damn, is this shit really like happening? Because my wife watches Ozark. Like, I don't know
religiously
motherfuckers who don't watch Ozark.
Religiously.
So it just really, and I haven't watched it.
Yeah. You ain't watched the one?
No,
Boy,
I just can't.
Man.
I can't, because I'm like, this one of the dopest shows out.
Yeah. Nah.
And my black ass is sitting here
Yeah.
in the scene.
In the scene, and like, you know, I watch the fan, you know, I'm a big fan of the show, so this whole season is like hip hop themed. Like
I know.
So the music is carrying the whole show. So the lines that, you know, Killer Mike exchanged with Ruth were based around you know, Nas' songs and stuff. So this is incredible, man. You need to watch that, bro. I can't believe
I ain't up to it yet.
Yeah.
I ain't ready to watch it. Shout out to my big homie, Big U.
Yeah.
Dynasty Dodo Mac, CJ Mac, Dub C.
Yeah.
The homies, you know. I'm fucking with y'all. I just love what y'all doing too, man. And when you know what, when CJ Mac and Dub C come here, I'm going to bring them here so they can meet you, because they're going to be doing some podcast work here, and maybe
Absolutely.
they can work something out too.
Anytime.
That'll be dope, right?
It's done, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, cool. Let's get it.
All right, man.
Connect the dots.
FreeGame Podcast.
FreeGame Podcast. But I promise you, somebody got to pay me.
Hey.
JD.